Hi guys, welcome back for another video. So I know I've been absent for a really long time and I've just been really busy, and today, or rather this weekend, has been the one weekend where I haven't actually had to do anything. Like, I literally have just painted my fingers and toenails, caught up on all my shows, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, The Mindy Project, Homeland, all those shows. Like, this is the first time I've actually had a weekend to just sit down and just watch all of them and just basically relax, because the last couple of months we have been house hunting, and we finally found a place in West London and put in an offer. The solicitors are doing whatever it is the solicitors do that cause such a delay in you actually exchanging and getting your keys. So that's going through the process, and hopefully we should have the keys by sort of like November. Yeah, like maybe end of November at the very latest. So in the short term, what we decided to do was, rather than sell the flat that, you probably can tell that I'm in different surroundings, but the flat in London, I'd owned it for about, or rather I was paying a mortgage on it, I shouldn't say I owned it. I'm paying a mortgage on it for the past 7 years, and we decided that we were not going to sell that flat, and instead we were going to buy a house, like a grown-up person's house, like a proper family house, in West London. And so then we rented out that place in the place that you normally see me doing these videos from, and we're now waiting for the keys. And then in the short term, we've now moved in with Ross's parents, so living with my in-laws out here in Maidenhead, which is as far out of London as I am comfortable being, but it is really nice out here. It's really nice. Everyone's really polite. The houses are just like, whoa. There's so much greenery, and yesterday I was out for a jog, and I was just like jogging along, and I was like, oh my god, look at these houses, amazing, blah blah blah. And I was just like really actually starting to think of potentially moving out of London. And in particular, obviously, I really love this house that Ross's parents have, and they've lovingly restored all of the Victorian features in the house, so it's absolutely gorgeous and I love it. And as I was jogging along, I was thinking, I really wish we could have a house like that. But as it happens, the house that we're going to buy is a 1930s house as opposed to a Victorian house, so a lot of the features have kind of been stripped out. I'm not really into that sort of Art Deco sort of style that would be indicative of the sort of 1920s, 1930s era. So I won't be restoring those features into the house, but I will try and restore some features that are a little bit more, a bit more traditional, and probably more on the Victorian side, even though the house is not a Victorian house. But that's for a later stage. The house itself has 3 bedrooms and a garage, and it was rented out to tenants before, so it's quite utilitarian, if you like. It's not really like a loving family home, so it needs quite a lot of work doing to it. On the sort of like the structure of the house is all sound, but the interior and the decoration, obviously, we would want to make changes to. So that's that. So far, I am enjoying being outside of London, only because it's nice and green, and everything's really nice and clean. Like, certainly in London, those of you who live in London, know that London is really dirty and people are very rude, actually. And I can kind of understand that in sort of like a tight environment where there's lots and lots of people and everybody's sort of struggling to find their own space, politeness kind of goes out the window, particularly when you're on the tubes. People bump into you and they don't say sorry, and it's just, and after a while you just get used to it and you don't really take notice of it. It's only when you're outside of that bubble that you kind of realise that there is a polite society outside of London. Anyway, so that's that. The other thing I don't like, the one thing I don't like about living out here, in fact, there's 2 things. The first thing I don't like is that it's not very well connected. So once you're outside of London, to get from various towns, you have to drive. You can't really there's no real buses or stuff like that. And there are buses, but it's inconvenient to take a bus or public transport to get to wherever you need to go to. Whereas in London, you just jump on a tube and you're there in 5 minutes or whatever, or if you know there's no like connection directly to where you want to go to, there is a way to connect to that place. But over here it's kind of like you either drive or you wait like 30 minutes for the next train, so that I haven't really liked. And then also, you know, being a lady of colour, a little bit more chocolate would be nice to see around here, but you know, well, you take it as you find it, you know, because I kind of like living in quite diverse environments. I don't really like living in these kind of like racially homogenized environments, which is definitely what this area is like. So yeah. Anyway, where we're going to live is a lot more racially diverse, and you know I quite like that, and that's why I kind of like living in London, because you know you can see people who look like you, whereas I think out here you generally don't. And yeah, so that's another story. Anyway, so that's pretty much it really. Hopefully we should be moved, as I said, by the end of November. Well, we should get the keys by the end of November, but I don't think we'll actually move in for another, I reckon maybe about 2 or 3 months. And the reason I say that is because the house does need some work doing to it, and we would probably like just get the builders in to do all that rather than actually do it ourselves and or live on a building site with all the building works going on, because you know I'm not trying to live among dust and dirt every single day if I don't have to. And Ross's parents generously have said we can stay as long as we need to, so that's great. And funny enough, he was just saying that he's kind of come full circle, because when we first met 5 years ago, actually more than, it's over 5 years, but anyway, when we met over 5 years ago, he had just bought a house, and he then moved in with his parents in order to speed along the, so as not to create a chain on his flat that he was selling. And now, 5 years later, we've kind of come full circle. We're back here again, waiting for another house with his wife. So it's kind of weird, but yeah. So that's about it, really. If any of you guys have any questions, or you know, you kind of, I don't know, anything you want to ask me, then feel free, and I will try to reply. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.